So we have a neighbor who is milling out some cedar boards for the garage, and he gave us all of the sawdust that he's got so far, which is really cool because this sawdust we're going to use as bedding for the chicken coop once we get the chickens. But for now, we're putting all this sawdust in these black bags. We're going to store them under cover because we've got more of this coming as he continues to mill. But for right now, I want to give him back his bags. So we're going to put this in here and store it up. All right, so now that we've got that done, I've got to go get the chainsaw. We've got a couple of trees that we've got to take down along the road. Now, the reason we have to take them down is during the last windstorm, these are trees that I noticed with heavy snow and with heavy winds, they really lean onto the road. And unfortunately, the weather looks like it's going to get pretty bad over the next 48 hours. We've got a lot of heavy, wet snow coming. I don't want our road blocked because these trees get weighted down with that snow. So we're just going to go cut them down. And then we're also going to stop by my neighbor's. We're going to drop his bags off. And yeah, let's take a ride. You know, in the very short time that Jen and I have been here in Maine, only a few years, one thing became abundantly clear right away. One of the best resources we have, and I suspect this is for anywhere that you homestead, the best resource that we've found are having good neighbors and maintaining, you know, that friendship is vital to success out here. It just is. I don't know how else to explain it, but all right, let's go take that road trip. All right, so this is super fresh. Looks like we've got a mom and a baby moose. And they just walked right over across this road. This is very recent because I just came through here a little while ago. Wow. They went that way. I mean, when I say that's recent, that's within the last hour. There's a little place over here that I know they get to. I wonder if we can get back there and catch them. Not catch them, but see them. Let's give it a shot. Well, I drove out into this field here, and unfortunately their track went missing in that group of trees right there. So they're in there somewhere. It looks like a mama and a baby. Yeah, they're just such a majestic creature. And it's not uncommon to see them right on this road. So, all right, well, let's keep doing what we were doing. All right, so we are out here on our road, and I've already taken 2 of the 3 trees here I wanted. Here's the third one. I mean, this thing is dead. The other two were dead, and the reason we're taking them down is the last wet snowstorm we had. Once the snow got on it, you can already tell, you know, this thing was really leaning into the road, and it just presented a hazard. So we got to get rid of them. They've been dead for a while. That bark just comes right off. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna finish knocking this one down. Then we got a few other a little bit down the road here that we gotta get. So. We have another one here. This one here, though, appears to just be an offshoot from a bigger tree, and that tree is alive. So we're gonna leave the big one, and all we're gonna do is just cut this one right here. So this is where experience, education, all of that comes into play. Let me show you what I mean. So during that last fall snowfall, wet snowfall, so we have three of the yellow birch here. This is the oldest, that's the youngest. This birch, with all of these limbs that reach out, this thing was leaning. It was leaning really bad. And you can see that all of these limbs here are all reaching out across the road. And again, I mean, this tree was leaning. It was leaning over the road. However, upon further investigation by myself right now, what I've come to realize is it actually looks like that one's holding up the two behind it. So again, during that last snowfall, this front tree here was really bending up at the top because of all of these limbs. They were just covered in snow and ice. Problem is I don't want to cut them. I don't want to cut any trees for that matter. But I do have to cut them when they become dangerous. And with Jen and I using this road full time, I do have to cut some trees that I feel are a danger to the road. And so this, even though this one up front is doing the leaning, these two here, the two younger ones behind it, I think it would end up leaning more if that one wasn't here. So what I think I'm going to do, and you know, you guys tell me what you think in the comments, because I mean, this is my third winter, and so I'm still learning all of this. So, you know, drop it in the comments what you guys would do. I mean, it'd be easy just to knock all three of them out, be done with it. But I don't want to do that because I don't think I need to. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave them. We're going to go through this storm, and I'm going to take a closer look at how these trees are reacting or how they are behaving with that amount of snow on them. If they got to go, I'll cut them then. I just don't want to cut them just for the sake of cutting them. And you know, that's how it goes. This whole process coming out here to the woods is just, it's all about learning, especially when you don't know anything like me. You know, I grew up in Chicago. I traveled all over Asia for work. I spent a lot of time in the air flying, a lot of time behind a desk, and, you know, in factories, again, all over the world, man. This was not, I didn't grow up in this. So I'm learning. And one thing I'm learning is about trees and the behavior of them. You know, the trees I just took down, those were dead. So those were going to come down. But these three yellow birch, they're not dead. They're just in a really bad spot, I think. But we're going to find out. We'll spend more time looking at these with that snow. And I'll learn from it, you know. Like anything else. You just, it's a whole learning process. This whole thing is learning. And you know what I'm learning right now? That it is quiet. Silent. That's crazy. Okay, so we have some firewood from the trees that we took down. So we're going to go put those in the woodshed. And then we've got to get some cookwood loaded up on Dory and brought over to the cabin. All right, so I have some pretty exciting news. We just hit 4,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. That's unbelievable. Jen and I are so blown away by the love, the support, the interaction, the engagement, the interest in what we're doing here in Maine. It's just, we feel so blessed that you know, that you folks are showing an interest in what we're doing here. It's really pretty amazing, and from the bottom of our heart, thank you so much. Next stop, 5,000. So we got that firewood stacked up in our woodshed for next winter, and actually we're almost done with wood for next winter. I'm tired. It's been a long day. We've had a lot going on today. We had a couple of our neighbors show up, excuse me, and I actually was helping a neighbor with getting some slab wood from the cedar logs that we logged for the boards on the garage. And as fate would have it, it is getting dark. It is getting late. I did want to get the cookwood stacked and restocked over here by the cabin, but I'm not going to get to it today. And the reality is I'm not going to get to it for a few days. And the reason being is we are in store for another monster storm. As a result, I had to move the panels, and then I also put the trailer and the Jeep in front of them. Again, it's a precaution, just to make sure that the panels, you know, don't get damaged during the windstorm. Now, unfortunately, this windstorm is projected to be very similar to the storm we had several weeks ago that knocked out a lot of trees in the area, especially on our property in our back or in our woods, and uprooted quite a few trees. So hopefully all goes well. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot for sticking around and watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you folks on the next video.